ask. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, great. So you've probably heard of the historian Henry Davis. He wrote Creating Christianity.
I've heard of them,
He,
yeah.
yeah, he has stated that Christianity was basically a dead religion until Emperor Constantine revived it. Would you agree with him? And what happened to the religion after Domitian's death, or from Domitian until Constantine? What exactly happened to the religion?
Well, no one knows. They just don't have, like uh, annals of the precise history of Christianity, in that period. There's legends, and there are some, archaeologic effects. I don't think it can be said to have been basically dead or non-existent because there was a like a Christian church that was directly next to kind of this bureaucratic structure that was I think they were both destroyed during Constantine's battle, when he becomes emperor. And so the religion hadn't gone out of existence, though to the extent that it was popular, it's not really, I don't think anyone can really, with precision, make a claim. Um, it is the case that that Constantine was the individual who brought Christianity and started the process to make it the state religion of the Roman Empire.
Mhm.
And so from that point forward, the religion had the power of the Roman military as its missionary
Mhm.
force, and so it quickly became, or with within some period, it becomes, like basically the state religion. Um, what's really important to understand about sort of the origin of Christianity as a European-wide religion is that it was part of a series of edicts that Constantine created, and the edict that began the process by which Christianity becomes the state religion. It was, the Constantine was making these edicts, giving the, Christianity the access to the military to protect it, supposedly, but
Mhm.
it changed dramatically in terms of its power as far as missionary activity under Constantine. But this was just one of the edicts. I mean, he was also creating the feudal system.
Mhm.
And you need to look at all of this as a collection. So what Constantine did was, I won't go into it, but he created a lot of, items that controlled behavior for the all of the subjects within the Roman Empire. And part of that was Christianity. It was one of the components. And so what he did was is he created the feudal system, which is the slave system. The term serf is just another, is a, expression for slave.
Mhm.
And he put Christianity, or began the process by which Christianity became sort of the dominant mind control element in the feudal system.
Mhm.
So, the serf would, he would just labor. It wasn't much of a life. You couldn't leave the area you were born into. Your children could be taken by the state.
Mhm.
A lot of problems for the individual, but you were given Christianity with the idea that when you died, there would be a reward of some kind. Um, the political bureaucracy was transformed, and you had the Pope at the top, or Pont of Maximus, and then secular people would be underneath that. But this was really just a, a kind of a three-handed Monty thing where the Caesar changed his name to Pontiff Mac. He changed the title that he represented himself to the public, to, instead of seeing Caesar, to Pontiff Maximus.
Mhm.
But you have to remember that Pontiff Maximus was one of the titles of the Caesar before Christianity became the state
Mhm.
religion. So it really wasn't that much of a transition. The Pontiff Maximus then had the political power, and you can see that Christianity was just you know the most fundamental mind control element to maintain a slave system.
Mhm.
Um, so just as a little, kind of context for this, if you look at St. Peter's today, you have the famous square with the obelisk in the center of it. That is actually the Flavian Circus. I mean,
Yes.
this was the Flavian Circus. It was the kind of an area semicircular that the chariot races would occur in, uh, that were all under the auspice of the different Flavian religious apparatus. In other words, nothing was just a chariot race. It was always celebration of some kind of aspect of Flavian divinity.
Yeah.
And the Flavian, uh, whereas now where St. Peter was where the Flavians had a kind of headquarters that they could, basically run things from. So, just looking at it from this perspective, you can see that they didn't really, they didn't change much when they implemented the feudal system. They and Christianity as state religion. That Caesar had, he maintained his title of Pont of Maximus. The headquarters were kind of in the same place, and so they just changed the name to give this religious mind control context, so that it would be easier for the serf to accept, this religion. And it was just really very evil. And it's this history of Christianity really needs to be more widely understood, as I said earlier, because of our current problem with
Mhm.
oligarch use of propaganda and AI and all of the different
Yeah,
techniques that
exactly.
they have against